Welcome to Ancient Signals, that flickering liminal space between what we know and what we aren't supposed to. We are a species defined by noise. We fill the static, terrified of the silence. We broadcast our hopes, our fears, and our wars into the void, hoping for an answer. But what if the void answers back? What if the first signal isn't a hello, but a scream? For our first investigation, we're not just opening a cold case. We are opening the case that defined the entire phenomenon. This is Roswell. But this isn't the story you think you know. This is the story of the first 48 hours. The story of the men who found the truth and the men who buried it. This is episode 1, The Storm and the Strange Debris. Jedediah. Jed Croft was a rancher, a man of dirt and fences. He understood the sky. He knew thunder. He knew the sound of a prop plane. What he heard that night was none of those. At first light, he went looking, not for a saucer, but for a downed weather balloon or a lost military experiment. What he found changed the world. It wasn't a crater. It was a gouge, hundreds of yards long, and it was covered in wreckage that glittered. This is the first critical moment, the first secret. Jed picks up a fragment, and in that instant, he knows. This is not from here. His later testimony was clear. The material was like no metal on Earth. Cold, smooth, but with an unnatural weight. And what does he do? Does he call the papers? Number. He hides it. Why? Was it fear? Or was it a sudden, primal instinct? The man who finds the meteorite owns the meteorite. He saw something of immense value, and his first instinct was to possess it. He kept one piece, and he left the rest. As Jed drives away, the machine is already in motion. Sheriff Ray Brody hears the first sanitized report. An impact. Vague, non-specific, but what Brody sees tells him the real story. A military convoy, not just a jeep, trucks, a full recovery team from the Roswell Army Airfield. He hits the gas. He knows instinctively that this is a race. He's too late. The site is a military operation. And here, we meet the second pillar of our story, Major Elias Thorne. Thorne is an intelligence officer. His job is not search and rescue. His job is threat assessment and asset recovery, and he is treating this as a major asset recovery. He doesn't negotiate with Brody. He dismisses him. The curtain of secrecy drops, hard and fast. From a distance, Sheriff Brody watches. He's a lawman. He knows how to read men, and he's watching the real investigation. He sees the soldiers. He sees the efficiency. And then he sees it. He sees Major Thorne, the man in charge, look at a piece of the debris. And for 1 second, Thorne's mask of military coldness breaks. It's a look of shock, of recognition. In that moment, Brody knows. This isn't a spy balloon. This isn't a test. This is something else.
Thanks for coming,
and the military
Jed.
is lying about it. The military operation is perfect. They scrub the site, leaving nothing. When Jed finally stumbles upon the scene, he's met by Thorne. This is the second lie. Jed, clutching the impossible object in his pocket, lies to the face of a military intelligence officer. Found nothing. Thorne is suspicious. He knows this old rancher is hiding something, but he has his orders. Thorne warns him, and the convoy leaves. And then, the official story is born. The lie that will echo for decades. It was a weather balloon. A simple, clumsy, almost insulting explanation. In his office, Sheriff Brody hears the lie, and it's the lie that sparks his obsession. This is where the story splits. The military has their story. But Ray Brody, he's a lawman, and he's just seen a crime. not a crash, a cover-up. This is where the investigation really begins. Brody is now a man obsessed. He knows the military operation was too fast, too efficient. He knows they missed something. He returns to the crash site, alone, and he finds it. A tiny piece, kicked into the sand, overlooked by the soldiers. He picks it up. It's cold. It's heavy. It's impossible. This changes everything. Brody now has physical proof, and he makes the connection. The military lied. The military knew what this was. And Jed, the terrified old rancher, he lied too. Why? Because he had a piece. Brody doesn't drive to Jed's house for coffee. He drives to the barn. He's not a friend anymore. He's a cop. He finds the tin box. He finds the prize, the fragment Jed took. And the confrontation begins. Two men, two friends, divided by an impossible secret. But as Ray confronts Jed, holding the glowing fragment, he makes a fatal miscalculation. He assumes they're still alone. This is where the first chapter ends. In a dark barn, with a truth that is seconds away from being extinguished. This isn't just a story about a crash. It's a story about human nature. The instinct to hide. The instinct to control. And the instinct to know. So, what do you think? What was that fragment? Why was Jed's first instinct to hide it, and Ray's first instinct to investigate it? And most importantly, what would you have done? This is the event that started the modern age of secrecy. They told us it was a balloon, but the evidence we've just seen, the fragments, the military response, the lies, it all points to something else. Something ancient. Let me know your theories in the comments. The truth is buried in these reports, but together, we can dig it up. If you want to continue this investigation, if you want to keep deciphering these ancient signals with us, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. The cover-up is just beginning.